Hey there, welcome back to K-Korner, your go-to spot for wild, unbelievable, and absolutely true tales from around the globe. I'm your host, Crown, here to take you on another journey through the twists and turns of life's most fascinating stories. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's dive into today's roller coaster of emotions, drama, and unexpected turns. Remember, if you enjoy our content, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more amazing stories. Let's get started. Let me preface the story by admitting that 1. It takes 2 people to have problems in a marriage, and 2. My husband is the one that made vows to me, not the other people involved in the story. However, the chance for revenge simply fell onto my lap, and these other people are objectively terrible people, while my husband is not. My husband and I have been married for almost 17 years, and these past 2 years have really been tiring for both of us. Teenage kids, mental health issues, job losses, pandemic, you name it. He started a new job and got back in contact with a female friend from high school that was employed at the same place. They restarted their friendship and I knew about it. Part of their friendship must have included venting about each other's significant others, and they bonded over their unhappiness, I guess. Over the next few months, they continued their friendship online only, and it eventually morphed into her sending photos to him. 2 days later, she sent me snapshots of what ensued. She also shared with her boyfriend, who then threatened my husband's life, started to harass me, and threatened to come into my workplace until I had to call the police. While I don't in any stretch of the imagination consider my husband to be totally innocent in all of this, what I think happened was that this woman found my husband vulnerable and simply used and manipulated him to both make her boyfriend jealous and try to completely destroy our marriage just to be vindictive. I mean, wouldn't most people believe that? My life implodes for a bit and I'm reeling. Once I started looking into who these people are and what they are about, who wouldn't? It doesn't take much Googling to find that this boyfriend of hers, in addition to being an abuser, is actually a fraud and a scammer with a history of selling fraudulent tickets to fake food festivals in different cities around the US. And he's currently selling tickets to a food festival coming up in the same city that I am now a new co-director of an annual large-scale event. So I'm starting to know people. And don't think the woman is innocent. She helps him promote it, knowing full well he's stealing hard-earned money from hundreds of people, just like he has done in the past. Fast forward a few weeks and I'm in an event planning meeting with the other co-director of the event and the head of the tourism bureau for our city. One of them brings up the shadiness of the upcoming food festival and how it must be a scam, man. I tell them yes, I know who is behind it, and I guarantee it's a scam. A couple days later, it's in the news that there is someone selling fraudulent tickets to an event that no one has permits for. You're welcome. People hear this and start calling out the organizers as scammers and demanding refunds. They were selling tickets as if the event were being held in a large park, and after the exposure, were forced to find and secure a location, which turned out to be a parking lot of a dive bar in a bad part of town. More people demand refunds because it's not what they were sold, and there starts to be a buzz about lawsuits. A few weeks later, I'm in another event planning meeting, and I express concern over how fraudulent events in our city may affect the reputation of other events in the city. Someone contacts the news stations and radio stations, and there are investigative reports done on this upcoming food festival. Again, people are super mad. Hundreds of people demand refunds. Customers that have bought tickets begin taking things into their own hands and calling vendors that the organizers claim to be taking part and find that most are not coming. The organizers were lying. The day of the event comes and hundreds of people still show up hoping to get what they paid for. People drove from states away with small children hoping for a fun family event. There is only one vendor, no drinks, no live music, no kids festival, no t-shirts, no tables or chairs. The cops are called. The one vendor that showed up is suing because he got paid nothing. I've heard the organizers are being investigated for the internet fraud. They were evicted from their home. She lost her job. Good luck finding another. Don't screw with me and my family. Ever. Hello, this happened a while ago and I'm still surprised that these people exist. Backstory. I'm a 13-year-old boy and look like I'm 11 or so. I have a friend whose house I was walking to. The story: I was walking to my friend's house when this white Mercedes drove by me. Keep in mind that this is a country, so seeing a Ferrari or Porsche is a rare occasion. I keep walking when the car stops a bit in front of me and Karen gets out. "What are you doing out here?" "Walking to my friend's house." "And where is that, huh?" "I don't have to tell you." This was wrong. "Why do you have that backpack then?" "Because it's like an hour and a half away." "You're probably going to steal something or mug someone." "No, I'm not." "Now go away." Again, wrong. "You're going to regret this. I will call the police on you." "Okay, go ahead, ma'am. The police ain't gonna do anything." "How dare you talk back to me like that, you little idiot?" Karen gets back into her Mercedes and drives away. Well, that's that. Or so I thought. I start walking again and see the car again. This time was a cop car next to it. At this point, the "oh no, here we go again" meme is playing in my head as I walk towards the car like it's the final boss. Police officer says, "Hey you, please come over here." "Okay, yes sir." "That's him. He attacked me. Arrest him, officer." "Did you attack this lady?" "No sir." "She demanded that." "She cuts me off." "Liar. I know you robbed someone." Police officer now noticing my backpack. He says, "Can I see your bag?" "Yeah, sure." I hand my bag over to the police officer. "Do you have any weapons on you?" "Yes, but only 4. I get cut off again. "See, I knew you had guns on you." "I only have a knife for self-defense in case someone did try to mug me." "Please put the knife on the ground." I put a tiny little red Swiss Army knife on the ground. "Oh, I thought you had a big jackknife or the like. You can keep it on you. Here is your backpack, by the way." Turns to Karen now. "Why did you lie about a robbery, Miss Karen?" "Well, he's going to." "I was not. My friend can vouch for me." I then put my friend on a speaker as I was in a call with him the entire time. My friend says, "If he robbed someone, I would know." See?
He's lying.
"Well, kid, sorry for holding you up. You can go now."
"Don't let him get away."
Karen then scratches me so hard it draws blood. "That's it, Karen. Put your hands behind your back."
"Why?"
"For assaulting a minor, disturbing the peace, trespassing and assaulting a police officer." She actually scratched the police officer too. Well, have fun in prison. P.S. Karen had 2 warrants out for illegal drug trafficking and domestic abuse. Sometimes around 2002, my wife and I moved into an 1,100 square feet condominium with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. We were very fortunate to get this condominium as a second owner, and we paid only $114,000, $6,000 more than the original price. Our condo was on the 3rd floor and all rooms were carpeted throughout the condo, with only one small 4x4 square of linoleum inside the front door to the outside breezeway. This will become important later, and yes, even the bathrooms, kitchen and dining room were carpeted. The front door opened to a large open space with vaulted ceilings, with a great room to the left and the dining room and kitchen to the right. The kitchen area was separated from the great room with a wall that had a cutout over the kitchen sink, and we had a long hallway directly going out of the great room to the all bedrooms and straight in front of the front door. We got to know some of the neighbors and got along with, well, most of them. The neighbors directly below us were a young couple that were attending university and were nice and cordial with us. Shortly after they graduated, they rented out their condo to her brother and his college friends. The brother was a decent guy and we mostly had no problems except for one of his birthdays, where their music and boisterous conversations and happy birthdays and so on kept us up until 4:30 in the morning. My wife and I returned the favor by blasting our music the very next morning at 8 a.m. But we talked a couple of weeks later and we all had a laugh about it and never had any real problems after that. Between 2004 and 2006, we changed all the flooring in the kitchen and dining room to ceramic tile, including the area in front of the front door, to avoid having to pay for carpet cleaning in the dining or kitchen area due to spills, or our young daughter throwing food on the floor from her high chair. In 2007, our cordial neighbors sold their condo to an older newlywed couple, late 20s to early 30s. Now, if anyone has lived in between a first and a third floor condo or apartment, you will know that this is the worst place to be if you expect silence. With kids or music, you'll always have some noise that filters through the floor or ceiling. I don't know what they were thinking or expecting when they moved in there. I was blissfully unaware that the condo had been sold until one day about a month later, I brought home a powered subwoofer and hooked it up to my home theater sound system. Around 6 p.m., I promptly put on an action flick with some big explosions, sat down to enjoy the new and improved immersive sound. After a little bit of gunfire and 2 explosions, I hear the doorbell ding-dong. I get up and immediately hear ding-dong again. I walk the 5 feet to my front door and open it to see my entitled neighbor. I will call her Karen, standing on my doorstep. "Hi, can I help you?" The very agitated Karen says, "My husband and I are trying to enjoy a quiet and peaceful dinner. Can you please turn down whatever show you're watching? We can hear everything that's going on." "Oh, sure, sorry about that." She turned around and walked away. I closed the door, turned the subwoofer down a ways, and the main volume down a bit, and thought nothing of it. Shortly after the next round of gunfire and explosions, I hear the ding-dong and then some rapid-fire knocking at my door. I paused my movie and then I opened the door to see Karen again. "Hi, what can I do for you?" "We still can hear everything from your show. You need to turn it down now." At this point, I was a little fed up with her nonsense and decided to call her on it. "You say you can hear everything. Can you give me some of the last dialogue you heard?" "I don't know. I just know you're watching X show." She was totally wrong. "No, I'm actually watching a different movie and here are the last 3 lines of dialogue." And I gave her those lines. "It seems you can't hear my movie as well as you're claiming." Karen was blazing eyes and red in the face. "I don't care. It's too loud. You need to turn it down." "Actually, the noise ordinance say that I don't have to turn it down until 10 p.m. Karen gets in huffy. "Fine, I guess my husband and I will have to go out to eat to get some peace and quiet." Me in my most cheerful voice and waving, "Have a good night." I then turned my subwoofer up a little and the main volume back up to its previous level, and I enjoyed the rest of my movie. The neighbors did end up going out that night for dinner or whatever. At our next HOA meeting, Karen stands up and complains long and loud about the noise. How she can hear kids jumping on a carpeted floor and hear us walking up and down our hallway and hear our music and movies and TV shows, and how the Hispanic neighbors on the first floor play their music on Saturday morning so loud they can't even sleep in, and argue so loud they can hear every word. This went on for 6 months. Every time she complained, the HOA told her, if it's between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., we can do nothing. If it's after 10 p.m. before 8 a.m., you can call the police. And then the HOA would send out a letter by the US mail, asking everyone to be cognizant of their neighbors and laying out the local city noise ordinance. I finally stopped attending the HOA meetings after 3 months of the same nonsense. She never failed to visit at least once or twice in a week after these notices, and twice she taped them to my door. I also learned during this time that they were members of our church and had actually been assigned to visit us each month. They never did, by the way. Cue the pro-revenge. Around the 6-7 months mark of her consistent complaints and harassment and even a couple of visits from some very apologetic police officers after 11 p.m. at night, they said they could hear nothing outside of my condo door. We decided to upgrade our flooring. We knew this would inflame our entitled neighbor, but we didn't care as we were tired of the constant stream of complaints from them. We chose to extend the entry tile all the way from the front door down the long hallway to the master bedroom door, and we wanted to tile the bathrooms as well. We also went with a light coffee-colored bamboo hardwood in our great room. So, demolition first. We tore out the carpets and tack strips and pried the base molding trim off the wall. As I'm removing the last of the nails from the walls and subfloor, about noon on a Saturday, wouldn't you know it, bang 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 from the front door. "Yes?"
"Can you keep it down? I'm trying to have a pampered chef party."
Of course. I promptly finished pulling or driving in nails and then proceeded to bang my hammer all over the subflooring like I was driving loads of new nails for the next hour. I make sure to turn on my stereo to the local hard rock station and turn it up for the next 4 hours. For your information, the first floor neighbors were already blaring some great mariachi music. They did this every Saturday and Sunday as they cleaned their condo from top to bottom. We then rented a hardwood floor nailer that, in addition to compressor noise and to loudly drive a nail into the flooring and subfloor, also had to be struck with a large dip blow hammer. Bang, bang, bang. It took us 2 to 3 days to install the coffee-colored bamboo hardwood flooring in that great room. We are sure it was driving Karen absolutely batty. We ended up installing an awesome tile inlay down the hall. Had tile running from the front door to the master bedroom door along the great room side of the divider wall. Tile in the dining room, kitchen, and both bathrooms. We got the base molding on, more nail gun and compressor fun, and caulked. The new floors looked amazing, and a bonus was every time a hard shoe, like my daughter's favorite Sunday shoes, she wore everywhere, every day, or high heels, my wife chose to learn how to do everything in 46-inch stilettos during this time, struck the floor. It was like the impact echoed through our perfect floors. All this was due to our neighbor complaining. It was also in preparation to sell our condo as we had grown out of it by this time. We sold it within 1 month of listing at $160,000. During closing, the real estate agent for the new owners told us that the floors absolutely sold this place. We also sold at the very top of the real estate boom right before the real estate market crashed. We later learned from some of our neighbors that within 9 months of us selling our condo, the second floor entitled neighbors moved out and sold their condo for $30,000 less than we had. And they took about an $8,000 loss. And they sent a letter of complaint to the HOA stating their condo was unlivable because of the noise from our incredible floors. Today, my brother, male 28, sister-in-law, and I stepped outside to have a smoke. Their son, 2-year-old male, opened the door and ran around the yard for a bit while we talked. When we were done, they both went inside and left their son outside. I yelled for him that it was time to go inside and he yelled back, "No, shut up," and continued to run around. I opened the door and stepped inside and saw my sister-in-law talking with her father, so I said, "Hey sis, come get your son." Her father responded with, "I'm talking to my daughter," very aggressively. I didn't say anything back but just went back outside to make sure the 2-year-old didn't get hurt. About 10 minutes go by when nephew says he's ready to go inside, so we do. Sister-in-law's father tried to say something else to me, but I cut him off and said, "Her children are not my responsibility. The next time I'll just come inside and it'll be your fault if he gets hurt since talking with your daughter is more important than her being a mother." I would never leave my nephew outside alone, by the way. He called me a jerk, Mormons don't cuss, and said it's a good thing that you're unable to have children. I left for work shortly after the incident, but I can't help but think that maybe I was a jerk. And now some comments on the post. Someone saying, "You're not a jerk. You can't seriously think you are, can you?" On the other hand, your sister-in-law and her father are the major jerks. She should at the very least have asked if you were okay with keeping an eye on a kid or taking him in with her. Personally, I would not allow a 2-year-old to tell me to shut up without some kind of consequences. Obviously, she's raising her kid the way she was raised, rude and entitled. Another commenter adds, "Not a jerk. Even as a parent, I don't get it when other parents assume someone is watching their kids. No one asked you to watch them. You didn't volunteer to watch them. It's not your responsibility to watch them." A third commenter goes with, "Not the jerk, but wow, was her dad a massive one. Chat with his pastor about his remark towards you when you shut him down before he could pick a fight with you. I'd also fill in your brother and sister-in-law about his insensitive comment towards you." Wow, what a ride that was. Thanks for joining me here at K-Korner. I hope these stories left you amazed and entertained. If you've got your own tale to share, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our daily adventures. This is Crown, signing off.